Holy Monastery of St. Nektarios of Aegina Island in Greece. A miracle yet again this year. The saint opens his eyes. It's the covering of his holy relics. And you can see here that it's a top of solid silver. The whole coffin is solid silver. And you can see here that it shows in the picture that his eyes are open. This happens during his feasts, September 3rd, the feast of repatriation of his holy relics of St. Nektarios of Pentapolis, Bishop of Pentapolis, the miracle worker. For one more year, the Holy Monastery of St. Nektarios of Aegina assures on its official website that St. Nektarios in his altar opened his eyes again as usual, as happens according to the testimonies of the Brotherhood and many pilgrims every such day, or on the official feast day, on his feast day. Our saints opened his eyes for another year. Our assistants, happy birthday. The pilgrims were flowing to the monastery of the Holy Trinity in the island of Aegina from Greece and abroad. His original name was Anastasis, meaning resurrection, from Eastern Thrace, who became a saint. He was slandered by ecclesiastical and secular authorities of the time. However, God's answer was deafening and the world's love was infinite. From 2014 to 16 onwards, the same phenomenon is observed in this in his monastery. It's actually a convent, and this happens since 2014. Now, Saint Nektarios, one of the latest Christian Orthodox saints, born October 1846 in Silembria to a poor family. He passed away at November 8th, 1920, age 74, in Aegina. At the age of 14, he moved to Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, to work and further his education. At the age of 20, he moved to the island of Chios in northern Aegean to take a teaching position. November 7, 1876, he became a monk at the age of 30 in the monastery of Neamoni, for he had long wished to embrace the ascetic life, and this again in the island of Chios. 3 years after becoming a monk, he was ordained a deacon, taking the name Nektarios. He graduated from the University of Athens in 1885. During his years as a student of the University of Athens, he wrote many books and pamphlets on biblical commentaries. Following his graduation, he went to Alexandria, Egypt, where he was ordained a priest and served the Church of St. Nicholas in Cairo, Egypt. He was consecrated Metropolitan Bishop of Pentapolis, an ancient diocese in Cyrenaica, in what is now Libya, by the Greek Orthodox Patriarch Sophronius in 1889. He served as bishop in Cairo for a year. Nektarios was very popular with the people, which gave rise to jealousy among his colleagues. They were able to persuade his superior that Nektarios had ambitions to displace a patriarch. Nektarios was suspended from his post without explanation. He then returned to Greece in 1981 and spent several years as a preacher from 1981 to 1984. He was then director of the Rosarius Ecclesiastical Seminary for the education of priests in Athens for 15 years. He developed many courses of study, wrote numerous books, preaching widely throughout Athens. In 1904, at the request of several nuns, he established the Holy Trinity Monastery for them in the island of Aegina, and that is where his holy relics are today. Nektarios ordained 2 women as deaconesses in 1911. Up to the 1950s, a few Greek Orthodox nuns also became monastic deaconesses. In 1986, Christologos, the Metropolitan of Demetrias, and later Archbishop of Athens and all of Greece, ordained a woman as deacon in accordance with the ritual of St. Nektarios. In December 1908, at the age of 62, Nektarios resigned from his post as school director and withdrew to the Holy Trinity Convent on Aegina, where he lived out the rest of his life as a monk. He wrote, published, preached, and heard confessions. He also tended the gardens, carried stones, helped the construction of the monastery, and he died at the age of 74 following hospitalization for prostate cancer and 2 months of treatment. Now, he has, of course, many, many miracles. I'm going to say two. One that he, a prophecy that he made to the nuns of the convent in Aegina. He told them that there was a war coming. Okay, let's remember that he passed away in 1920, November 8, 1920, at the age of 74. He told them that there was a war coming. He was referring to the Second World War. He said, "Don't worry, you will not you will not suffer in that you will not have a deprived sustenance. Not even coffee will be missing." He said, "You will enjoy your morning coffee as you always do." So when the war came, the nuns, of course, were short of their sustenance. You know, their storage and kitchens were empty, and they didn't have coffee. They didn't even have coffee one morning, and they said to each other, "What kind of prophecy did he give to us when he told us not even the coffee will be missing from us?" And at that time, when they said that, someone knocked on their door and said, there's a donkey laden with coffee bags, coffee beans coming to you, because the person that ordered it didn't show up at the pier to collect his cargo of coffee. So they've decided to grant it, to give it to the convent. And so they of course realized that this prophecy had come to pass. So they had coffee for the rest of the war. Now, after that, in the 1960s, a young man who was suffering from leukemia, he was age 24, and he wasn't faithful or anything. He decided to go, in the 1960s, leukemia was, of course, a deadly disease, and he decided to visit a church and pray for himself. So he went to the basement of the church, where they had a series of little icons on the benches on the side walls of the basement, and he saw various saints. And one of the icons didn't have a saint in it. And he looked at it and said, "Where's the saint? I mean, it's just the background around the saint, and the saint is not there. It was empty." And he heard a voice behind him saying, "Good morning, young man. What are you doing here?" And he says, "Oh, I'm here because I'm sick and I'm dying, and I decided to come and pray." And the old man that was talking to him says, "Oh, you're not sick. You're going to be fine. And not only that, you're going to live to close to 100 years old, and you're going to become a priest monk." And he told him to go and tell the women of the Christian Orthodox faith not to burn their holy unction oil in their lamps, because the holy unction oil, if you take 3 drops of it every morning, it can even cure cancer after 40 days. So he was telling him various things that would come to pass. And I have met this man who talked to this elder that appeared to him. And when I met him, he was quite old. It was a few years before he passed. And he took the name of Nektarios and became a priest monk. Now, after the old man spoke to the sick man who had leukemia and greeted him, and they said their goodbyes, the young man turned to see the icon, and the icon suddenly had the image of the saint in it, and it was the image of the man that was talking to him, conversing with him, telling him that he will be cured, and that God will cure him, heal him, and that he would also become a priest monk. So that's what happened. This happens many a time. The saint in the icon comes out of the icon and becomes a human talking to you. Okay, these are divine graces that many people have experienced. So in this case, it was the actual Saint Nektarios that spoke to this young man who was cured, and I met him when he was an elder. I met him in Kamariza near, it's a place near Sunion in outside of Athens, Greece, and that's another miracle. So this is a very big saint of our Christendom, and we do have our saints and God's angels around us, praying for us and helping us always, but we don't always realize it. But we just have to take it for granted. They love us, and they are the heirs of the kingdom of our Lord Jesus Christ, and they help us. So I've translated this for you from a Greek article and also on Wikipedia, Nektarios of Aegina. Please leave your comments. God bless you, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.